Welcome to Discover Greater Lansing. Whether you're exploring the rich history of the state capital or indulging in incredible local food, there's always something exciting happening here. Discover living. Discover mobility. Discover downtown. Discover giving back. Greater Lansing offers breathtaking activities and outdoor adventures, ensuring a perfect balance of city life and natural beauty. Discover the warmth. Discover the charm. Discover Greater Lansing. The journey begins now.
Today, I am joined by our very own mayor, Mayor Andy Shore, and the CEO of our business extravaganza, Tim Damon. So we're going to have so much to talk about. There's so much excitement in Lansing. There is growth. There's opportunity. It's really a great time to be from this area, right? Right, Mayor. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about some of the growth and investments that is happening right now in our region. And you can tag team, maybe from the business angle, from the fun angle, but let's talk about some of these great opportunities that are headed our way.
Yeah, I'm going to defer to the mayor here to kick us off, right?
There is so much going on. We only have a limited time. There's so much going on. When you look at the downtown, we're looking at 500-600 units of new housing. We're looking at housing for all, from affordable to market rate. We know that people want to live in our city. They want to live in our downtown. So we're working with several developers and others. We're moving City Hall. And when we do that, we're going to repurpose the old Masonic temple that Cooley had. So you're repurposing this old building that's going to be brand new. And then we expect our old City Hall to become, a hotel if we can make that work, but revitalizing. We're going to see a new performing arts center called the Ovation, 2,100 people. That's going to be coming next year. So you're seeing a lot of retooling, right? We know that post-pandemic, state employees are not here like they were, and we're retooling. And it's not just downtown. We're doing stuff on the west side where you see Moneyball just came in, and that old Parks Furniture building is going to be rehabbed. We're doing it on the south side. We're doing it on the east side. Michigan Avenue is going to see changes. Again, on the south side, Waverly and MLK down Cedar. You're seeing it on the north side when you go and see kind of the new lofts, the new apartments over by Old Town and many of the projects that are there. There's a lot of growth coming in our city right now, and it's an exciting time to be a resident or a visitor of the city of Lansing.
And you can feel it. You can feel the energy as being right downtown with my office. You can kind of feel, because we all wrung our hands during COVID. It was a ghost town a little bit, and unfortunately businesses closed. And again, there's an excitement, an undertone, and something pops up here and there. And shout out to the west side too. I'm a west sider, so good things happening on all geographic locations around the region. So Tim, anything that excites you?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I think, you said that, Lori, about the region. I think when you look regionally, right? But to me, I firmly believe that so much of our regional success is going to start with downtown Lansing being a vibrant, energetic downtown, which we know it can be. And growing up here, I have a whole new appreciation for that. I remember as a child, it's where you went to do your back to school shopping. We were downtown continuously, and we've seen the ebbs and flows, right? And it's not just Lansing. I think that's, across the country. But I've never been any more excited about what that future looks like. And the mayor outlined a number of those projects there. And I can only liken it to the history of our organization. We're a 123-year-old organization. In 1901, there were 12 business leaders in the city of Lansing at that time came together and established and created the Lansing Businessmen's Association. And their sole mission was to attract REOs and investing in a manufacturing facility. Well, we all know the rest is history with that, right? And I firmly believe that for the next 100 years, that set the course of direction and very successful for our city. And I think we have a similar opportunity right now with some of those, the things that the mayor outlined with, new City Hall, redeveloping City Hall across from the state capitol and what that might look like. You think about the transformational housing projects that are downtown. So there's a lot of opportunity right now. And I think there is a lot of excitement and a lot of work to do to get some of the projects done and across the finish line. But I think you've got a coalition of regional partners that are committed to making that happen.
And that's it. I mean, when I go out, I am an ambassador for Lansing. I mean, we are the heart of our state. And we can feel it beating very strongly now. So as business owners, as property owners, as employers, as it is the shot in the arm, proverbial arm we needed after COVID because we wrung our hands, and we're going to talk just a minute. I don't want to, the windshield is so big and the rearview mirror is so small. So I don't want to spend a lot of time looking back, but let's talk a little bit about COVID. I mean, because if we forget the past, how can we move forward in a very great way? So let's talk about state workers and COVID, and maybe an over-reliance on those workers to keep our downtown alive.
We had a strong reliance on, we are the capital city. We are proud to be the capital city. We're not, any of these other, make it up, try and figure out what your industry is. We are the capital city. And we've always had a partnership with the state. We've always had state employees downtown, 30,000 people coming in that may or may not live here. It was a reliance. I don't know if it was an over-reliance. It was the economy the way it was. And now, they're in 1, 2, 3 days a week if they're in at all. And we saw some pains, but we also see a way forward. And the way forward is with housing. One of the things that Lansing always struggled with, what do you do nights and weekends? If people are state employees and they're going home, they're not here at night. How do you get them on the weekends? The thing that solves the problem of not having state employees, as well as the nights and weekends, is housing. When people live in the downtown, it doesn't matter if they're remote working or if they're in-person working. If you're remote working, we were voted the #1 place to remote work. And at first I was not happy about it. But then you realize people who are remote working, you may spend all day, in your apartment or in your house, remote working with your dog or your kids when they go from school. And at some point you want to get out of that house. So people are living downtown, they're working and they're going to eat, or they're remote working and then they're getting out at night and they're going to eat and they're shopping. It really creates this density of people. But then you add in the amenities. You add in the stadium that we have. Thank you to Mayor Hollister, who started this 25 years ago. The stadium, the Performing Arts Center, Gray Wall Hall. You're going to see acts and shows. We have the parks. We have a new accessibility playground. We have Rotary Park, which we put significant resources into, along with the Community Foundation. All of these things together. Now you got people that are there during the days and as well as at nights and weekends. So we started out in a place of challenge, and we have risen to the challenge.
Absolutely, absolutely. And talk about those great spots. I am a grandmother now, so the accessible playground is wonderful. And I'm the intergenerational opportunities. And we've touched on it in our show here over the past couple of weeks about how a family can go, and if you're an outdoor family, you can go to spend a whole day out of doors with our wonderful river trail. I mean, it's a jewel. Our river itself is starting to come to life. We're starting to see the river for the trees, if you will, because we've kind of covered our river. And now the kayaking and the Michigan Princess up and down the river. There are so many opportunities. And what does that mean for attracting business to our great region?
I think it means a lot, Lori, and I think you talked about that. From an asset standpoint, I think we would all argue, and you all see that we have as many assets to build a vibrant community around as anywhere in our state and arguably in the country, right? A river right through the heart of downtown, and you mentioned that it's becoming more accessible. We're embracing that now. The river trail, I was just in conversations recently with folks on the river trail and what Ingham County's been able to accomplish through a parks millage and interconnecting those trails. And I think the most recent one was the opening from Michigan State University, the campus out to Lake Lansing. So it's all interconnected. And, I don't want to say that we had a vision 5 years ago with that, but I think the vision is evolving and is being built out. And now how do we tell that story? But I think if COVID has taught us anything, it is that balance of work life, and you got employees downtown and being able to access that river trail and maybe even get from Lansing to Delhi Township or Lansing to East Lansing and what that all looks like, and all that kind of interconnected with Michigan State University. So that quality of life and that balance is all part of the region being an attractive place for business and for people.
Absolutely. And, people often forget we're the insurance capital of the state too, with major insurers headquartered right here in our region. And my reference to it being the heart of our region, as in a body, the heart takes the blood and puts it out to all the outer regions. And that's what we talk about Michigan State and East Lansing. And when I travel outside of Michigan, people, they confuse Michigan and Michigan State. Oh no. And, but we have a great university right in our region. And so that the educational opportunities the work opportunities, with GM, of course, and I think there's a great diversity. And I have to say everybody wants to talk about food. So when you go down Washington Avenue right downtown, the diversity of food offerings, international, and it's just, I think it's like, we're not trying to reinvent old Lansing.
That's right.
We're trying to create a vision and an excitement and opportunities that may look a lot different. So what do you think about that? Is it a new vision?
It's, we're very proud to be a welcoming city, to have cultural diversity. And when you look at just the downtown shops, we have very few national chains. We have a few, but very few. Yes. But then when you look at Cuban, when you look at this, Veg Head having this vegetarian ensemble of food, when you look at African, when you look at, just the different shops, the Nubian, we have a gluten-free, if you haven't been to Sweet Encounters, the gluten-free foods are incredible. All of this is it's welcoming. It's welcoming to people. You talk about the diversity of our industries, right? We are where cars started, right? Yes. Tim talked about that. But not only do we have cars, we're now making batteries in Lansing for the future. We're going to be making those cars. We're pushing for all kinds of these technologies, advanced manufacturing. We are, I think, the second biggest insurance in the country outside of Delaware with our insurance companies. You look at our healthcare. We are a healthcare mecca right here in the city of Lansing, both Sparrow and McLaren, MSU Healthcare, U of M Health. We've got them all right here in the city of Lansing. So it's a very diversified economy, both culturally and when it comes to businesses and manufacturing. We're proud of all of that. It's in our blood. It's who we are. And that doesn't even include state government, which is, we are the capital city and we have that state government presence. So all of this, it really pushes us forward as a region. When you build in the facility for rare isotope beams at MSU, nobody really knows what that is, but we know it's bringing in these famous scientists from all over the world. We know they're staying in hotels. We know that it's having an incredible impact on our economy. And I know, Tim, you talk about that all the time. I'm stealing Tim's thunder a little bit.
Great. I'm taking notes over here. New talking points.
No, this is your speech. So
no, and Tim, these are tools in your placemaking tool belt. So how are you using them?
Well, I think the one thing that I would add to what the mayor said right here is that Michigan Avenue and the Michigan Avenue corridor, and it's great because we get to talk about so many of these great things like the Michigan Avenue corridor or the insurance capital and the insurance sector and so forth. But when you think about that Michigan Avenue corridor, we have state government, we have healthcare, private business, higher ed, all converges in that corridor. So when we talk about the importance of reinvesting in that corridor, and I know that there are plans for kind of a complete rebuild, the walkability, the accessibility, that is so critical to what's going to continue to happen, I think, here in our region. And that has to be and should be the most vibrant corridor in the state of Michigan, connecting the university, East Lansing, and the state capital, and everything that happens on that. So from an entertainment standpoint, the river's on there as well. So, we talk a lot about that, and we're very excited about what the future looks like for that Michigan Avenue corridor for sure.
Yeah, I remember back in my early days, they wanted to rename Michigan Avenue the Avenue of Michigan because it leads to all great things and connects those two wonderful entities in our state, our seat of government and a top Big Ten university that is awesome. So we talked a little bit about housing, and I want to dive a little bit deeper because Mayor, you said that we have to provide the housing, and it's got to be for all socioeconomic levels. So let's talk about the importance of housing and maybe a little bit more on what's coming down the road to make that accessible for all.
Sure. Again, we want to make sure that everyone has housing. We know there's a shortage. We know as we have more employees coming in and workers, we need more housing. Again, it's from the top to the bottom. We want housing for bigger families so they can stay. I know families that have had to leave Lansing because they have their third or fourth child and they don't have housing availability. We know that we are one of the most affordable cities in the country. So we have to have enough housing for the affordability. We know we have folks that are unhoused. We have folks that have come into Lansing because they're seeking opportunity and maybe it doesn't work out or they're unhoused. So we've got viable shelter options for folks as a first option. We've got a new warming center that we just opened up, that the city just opened up, and we're seeing folks in there. we're trying to help those. You serve them. You get them from a place of not being housed into a place where they're having temporary housing. You get supportive housing. We work with our Lansing Housing Commission, which has deeply affordable housing for those that are lower income. You move them into regular housing through apartments, and again, it levels up as they have opportunity, as they are work with our capital area Michigan Works to find employment or better employment. It's all part of the kind of the continuum of process for us. And it's mostly working. We certainly are seeing more folks here, and I think folks are coming to Lansing because they see opportunity, and we're tasked to help them, and we are doing that every day.
Absolutely. Anything to add?
You know what, I will add this, and I think, with Lansing and probably like a lot of other urban areas around the country, an aging housing stock, right? And as the mayor said, how do we reinvest in that housing stock to make it attractive for young families to stay here?
Yes.
And there are so many examples of friends of mine over the years that have had to do that as well as families grow. And so it is doing that. And I think it's kind of having that vision and plan for what that housing looks like. This is not a Lansing unique issue. This is a national issue.
Yes.
Right? Housing builds and housing starts are critically important. There's so many definitions as well. I even find myself getting confused sometimes. It's like workforce housing, there's the missing middle, there's attainable housing. And so it's like, how do we help educate, our leaders on what this looks like and really kind of come together and coalesce around some vision of helping, whether it's the city of Lansing or the region, continue to grow this. I mean, I think as people are aging in their homes now, they're not freeing up homes that are going to allow young families to kind of move into that next tier. And so I know this, I'm very proud. My son just purchased his first house. He's a Lansing resident, now taxpayer in the city. But, he looked for over a year, and it just, he found a great house in the heart of the city here, and he's very happy. But it's difficult for for our young professionals now to get that first starter house that all of us we were able to do that and do it relatively easily back in the day, and we've been able to progress through that. But it's an issue that certainly our employers are watching, and they're concerned with as well as what now they continue to attract people in.
It isn't great. My daughter's a homeowner in the city as well, new homeowner in her 20s, and it's I couldn't be more thrilled of our affordable, lovely communities. So we only have a few more seconds left to go here, and I all the guests, this is the surprise question. Number one favorite thing about Lansing, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, you can't ask me one favorite thing. I love it all.
Love it all. Love it all. Well, okay, we'd expect that from you. How about Tim? One of your favorite things?
This is my hometown, and I'm like the mayor. There are so many things, and I really enjoy having the debates with friends that tell me that there's nothing to do in Lansing. And so, but I will tell you, to me, being downtown on a Wednesday night at Envy, and Envy being packed and people on the streets, that's pretty cool and that's pretty special.
You heard it here. This is what makes Greater Lansing great.
That's right.
Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you, Lori.
Hi, I'm with Dan Shanahan of Eaton Community Bank, and we're going to talk about credit today. So Dan, a credit score, it's very important to people. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure, and thanks for having me on, Karen.
Sure.
So having a good credit score can save someone thousands of dollars over the course of their lives. They're going to have lower interest rates on car loans, on their mortgage, on really any credit cards, things like that. So,
nice. Okay. How do they find out what their credit score is and if it's even good?
Right. So there's a government-sponsored website, annualcreditreport.com, and you can log in there and you can pull your credit report without doing a hard pull on your credit. So that gives you a nice baseline to start off on figuring out a path to a good score.
Nice. And once they find out what that is, are they able to come in and talk with you about what their future plans are and what that credit score does to those future plans? How does that work?
Absolutely. So if you're starting out and you don't have a credit score, we have secured credit card products. We have credit builder loans, and those are things that someone who is starting out with no credit or maybe has struggled with their credit, they can use those tools to help raise that score back up.
Nice. And you're able to talk to them about timing as well in regards to how long before they can get a car loan or a house or any of that kind of stuff. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. Dan, thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to encourage people to do is stop into your East Lansing branch and talk to you about credit, how they prepare and align themselves for the future. Is that a good idea?
That's a great idea.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you again for being with me today, and I hope that I hear a lot of good things about people that are stopping in to see you.
All right, thanks so much.
We're here with Mary from Ornamaloo, and we're super excited to hear all about your business. So tell me a little bit about how you got started.
Well, I got started in retail through museum stores and historical organizations, and while I was working there, I kept coming up with ideas for new stores that I wanted to do myself, and Ornamaloo was the outcome of making my own chainmail jewelry and collecting and selling vintage products.
Your store is so beautiful. So how do you collect, where do you collect all those vintage pieces that you offer?
I visit a lot of antique malls and search the web and find things that I love, and I take a risk, and they seem to do well, so that's what I do.
Well, and it does look like a museum in your store for sure.
Thank you.
So absolutely beautiful. So you were a part of Middle Village this year, which is a year-long program that helps retailers who are just about to take the leap into brick and mortar. Tell me, how did that help your business?
It's helped me to find who my base audience is and learn to market to those people and to grow the business.
Well, fantastic. Your store is stunning, and we're super excited to have you as part of the program.
Well, and I'm happy to be there.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
I'm with Kurt Fedewa of K. Fedewa Builders today. And Kurt, first of all, thank you for being part of the show. Really excited to hear your take on a few things that people are questioning right now. You know, people are looking around their homes and wondering where they could renovate or do something that is something fun for them, but they're worried about the dollar as well. So first of all, tell me, what's trending in the area?
Really what's trending is people staying in their own homes this year. You know, they're deciding they love their neighborhoods, they love their subdivisions, and you know, just where they live. And so they're choosing to stay where they live, remodel spaces within their home, or add on to accommodate, you know, another family member moving in, maybe a parent or something like that. But you know, kitchens, bathrooms, and basement finishes are really popular right now.
Okay, great. And how about, you know, dollar for dollar? Where should a person put their money if they want to renovate?
You know, really, we're finding a lot of people are putting money into their kitchens because that seems to be the hub of the home. People are spending a lot of time there with their family, with friends. It's becoming a hangout space. You know, open concept is getting to be really popular, or continuing to be really popular, but it's where everybody can get together. Nobody's being left out of a conversation or anything else like that. So really just, you know, opening up the spaces to each other and making it more functional for their families and when they get together with friends and so on.
Nice, nice. So I think I'm going to go home and take a look at my kitchen, maybe a bathroom or two, and decide what needs to be renovated, and I know that my investment will be protected.
Yes, it will.
Okay,
yes, it will.
Great. Well, thanks for joining me
You're
today.
welcome.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
The Lansing Regional Chamber is pleased to be part of Discover Greater Lansing, where we will celebrate and showcase the economic growth and assets that define our region. We are experiencing an extraordinary transformation with over $4 billion in new investment and thousands of new jobs. Placemaking, including the integration of arts, entertainment, and culture, plays a pivotal role in shaping our vibrant communities. Infrastructure is the backbone of economic growth, and we're seeing historic levels of investment exceeding $800 million, including the planned reconstruction of Michigan Avenue, connecting Michigan State University to our state capitol. As you embark on your journey to discover Greater Lansing, we encourage you to immerse yourselves in the unique experiences our region has to offer, support the small businesses that form the heartbeat of Lansing, and joining us in fostering an environment where innovation, collaboration, and prosperity flourish. Together, let's build a stronger Lansing.
Dave, thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
Tell me, why do Rotarians get involved in service projects?
Rotary for a long time has been all about service above self, and we strongly believe that it makes for stronger communities. We want to give back, and from a personal point of view, It just feels good. You get to help people, you get to help the community, and I've never gotten done with a service project where I didn't come home with a big smile on my face, and so glad I did it.
So how do Rotarians do that, both locally and globally?
Locally, we have a lot of contacts in our community. We have a lot of members that are nonprofits, and we have our kind of thumb on that part of the community, and they make suggestions. We work with the Community Foundation, Michigan Nonprofit Association. They have a good feel for where the needs are in our community. And then we go out and say, what can we do to help? Where do you need hands on deck?
And how are projects selected?
We talk to groups like that we're involved with, and like I said, they have a thumb on the community. They know where the needs are, and we try to fill those gaps.
Is there one particular service project that comes to mind that makes you feel really good about being a Rotarian?
I've been involved in lots of different things. Everything from cleaning up the river to serving food at Cristo Rey Community Foundation. We worked there, and but I think, we did smoke detectors with the Red Cross, which actually was really neat. We'd go into people's homes, put up smoke detectors. We knew that we were making things better for them, making it safe for them. Things like that really make you feel wonderful.
And what's the one thing you want people to know about our service projects?
I just want them to know we're here, and certainly to reach out if they have a need. We'd love people to let us know if they're involved in the community in a project and they need hands, that we'd be happy to help.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Hi, Margaret.
Hi there.
Can you tell us in what ways CATA is ensuring inclusion for our marginalized and underserved populations?
Absolutely. For several years now, CATA has contracted with Advent House Ministries to provide 2 advocacy workers at our downtown transportation center who focus on assisting our unhoused partners. As you know, our downtown transportation center is also one of many warming and cooling centers in the capital city region.
What is the impact of the advocacy officers at the downtown CTC and in our region in general?
Yeah, the impact is that on a daily basis, our officers work with about 60 people every day, providing them a pathway to independence by helping them with employment opportunities, medical and housing needs, and providing resources such as food, shelter, and transportation.
Excellent. Can you share with us one of the most memorable activities or things that the advocacy officers have done that sticks out in your memory?
Yeah, so throughout the years, we've been fortunate enough to house up to 5 families who were previously struggling with homelessness or housing insecurity. And these workers have been dedicated to providing them transition into permanent situations. And it just shows their dedication and the love they have that we also have for our community.
And where are these advocacy officers located?
They have an office at our downtown transportation center on 420 South Grand.
Great. And they are there?
We're there Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Our officers are there generally from 8 a.m. till about 6 o'clock p.m.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
To learn more about what the Greater Lansing area has to offer, go to discovergreaterlansing.com.
Wow, what another great show and another reason to discover Greater Lansing. So many wonderful things happening in our great, great community. From living, working, and playing, we've got it right here in Greater Lansing. Thanks for joining us.